Hi everybody, this will be part 29 of the character rigging tutorial series. This video will discuss how to create controls for the twist joints that allow us to be able to correct and even adjust how much the arm's twisting in these areas. Now for some secondary motion, we might also want to give this some opportunity to move this and maybe even scale this part of the body as well. So we're just going to use a parent constraint again, and probably a scale constraint to help out with this as well. So we'll do kind of a combination constraints to get this to run properly. We're going to do a circle, and we can start on the legs because we have 2 on the legs and 2 on the arms. So let's scale this out, turn off our geometry for a second, and I'm going to hold on the V key and snap this to my leg helper joint there. I'm going to scale this in so that it's not kind of going to overlap the center of the body. Maybe scale it in a little more. And then go to control vertex and kind of move some of these out some so that it's still outside the body here. That back there. There we go. So here's just where we're finding the curves just come into play. There we go. So that'll be our upper leg. All right. Let's create another curve. This will be our lower leg. So scale this up. And joints. Snap this to my lower leg twist. Scale it out. And let's turn off our joints and then just refine this as well. There we go. Let's take the back ones and pull that back more. The front ones can go in some. There we go. So we just kind of want this to kind of follow the body a little more here. There we go. That'll work, but it wants to be outside the body. That's the important part. All right, so I'm going to take these 2 and duplicate them. And let's see, scale X. So we're going to put a negative value in front of, let's see, let's actually undo that and do it one at a time. Negative value in front of the scale X, which would mirror it over. There we go. Negative value. There we go. And then now with our joint, we can snap this on top of that joint, and it should be perfectly symmetrical on that leg as well. Here we go. So these, we want them pretty close to the body, so that way they don't get in the way of our foot or our hip or anything else that we have created. So let's do our legs, then we'll come back and do the arms later. All right, so with these 4 controls, let's name them. So control, left, leg, let's see, upper twist, sure. Control left, leg, lower twist. Sometimes names get a little long. You can abbreviate them more. Control right, leg, lower twist. Control right, leg, e.g. upper twist. There we go. All right, so what we want to do is actually have this as a like a parent constraint, so it can move and rotate, but also add a scale onto this as well. So we're going to select this control, shift select the twist joint, and we'll do a parent constraint. Okay. The parent constraint only does translate and rotate. So we're also going to have the curve and then shift select the joint for the twist and do a scale constraint. So let's make sure maintain offset is turned on for scale. I already know from the previous videos that my maintain offset was turned on for parent. So that does a scale constraint as well. So what that'll give me the opportunity to do is the same thing that as if I had the joint selected. With this control, I can move it around, I can rotate it for twists, and I can even scale this as well to bulge it out if I wanted to. So let's do the same thing for the lower leg. Select the lower leg control, shift select the lower leg joint, constrain parent. Let's reselect and constrain scale. Okay, so with that control, I can move it, I can rotate it, and I can scale it. There you go. Could do the other leg. Right leg control, upper twist to the right leg twist joint. Constrain parent, and we can probably not have to reselect it. Constrain scale. There you go. That should work. Well, let's see. We did not freeze the transform, so let's back up some. Good to make sure you catch this as early as possible. There you go. So we want to make sure we freeze the transforms for these twist joints as well, or twist controls. So before we do any constraints, I believe we delete the history. So edit, delete by type history, and modify freeze transformations. There we go. Now these controls are ready to go. So let's select the upper leg control, upper leg twist, constrain parent, constrain scale. Select the lower leg control, lower leg twist, constrain parent, constrain scale. Should make all those attributes blue. Do the same thing on the other side. Control to twist joint, constrain parent, constrain scale. Just repeating the commands. Lower leg control to lower leg twist, constrain parent, constrain scale. There you go. So now all of these should work as expected. There you go. All right, so from the previous video with the helper controls, we know now this is going to cause an issue when I move the leg. Okay, so I need to then create dummy groups for each one of these controls, and then the dummy group will be a parent constraint with the upper leg or the lower leg. So that way the leg will still move properly, but then I have the secondary control for a twist. So I'm going to group each one of these. So we'll say group. This one's the group left leg upper twist. I think I'll put like control C up leg. There we go. Let's make sure we center that pivot. Modify center pivot. There we go. Let's work our way to the next one. Group. Same thing we did for the last video. Group control left leg lower twist. Modify center pivot. So the right leg. Group control right leg lower twist. Modify center pivot. Control group, or control G to group, GRP, control right leg. This will be the upper twist. Good. Modify center pivot. Awesome. So we have groups for each one of these. All right. So now we want the all right. So after we set up the groups, we just need to do the parent constraints with the upper and lower legs. So I'm going to select the hip joint, and then I'm going to come down here and control click on the upper leg twist group. Okay, so we're getting a lot of groups here, but we need to make sure we're staying organized and everything is named. Hip joint, then select the upper leg group twist. Constrain parent. Okay, let's do the same thing for the lower leg. So we're going to select the knee joint, hold down control, and click on the lower left leg twist group. Constrain parent. All right. Go to the right side of the body. Right hip to the right leg upper leg twist group. Constrain parent. And then select the knee joint leg lower twist group. Constrain parent. All right, so that way we still should be able to move my leg control, and my twist control should move with it. But my twist controls can now have their own secondary set of motion. So test everything out. Still make sure everything works how intended. Those controls move with the leg as proper as what we want to set up. So that's how we can do twist controls here. So we need to do two of the twist controls for the arms. So we'll repeat the commands here. To save some time, I'm going to pause the video create the controls, and then we'll come back and sync them up with the groups and everything. All right, so I'm back. So just quickly went ahead and created the controls for the upper arm and lower arm twist. Name them, snap them to the position of each twist joint. So that way it's the same process of what we did earlier, just kind of cuts down the amount of time, dead time of showing that. So I modified the shape a little bit so it's closer to the form of the arm, but the key thing is that the pivot point is set properly, and the it's outside of the geometry, right? So the control is snapped to the center of the twist joint. All right, so we're going to select these four. We're going to go to Edit, Delete by Type History, Modify, Freeze Transformations. All right, so we're going to repeat the process we did for the lower leg, the leg twist. We're going to select the left upper arm, then shift select the left upper arm joint twist, constrain parent. Let's actually make sure before I do that, yep, transforms are done. So select the curve, then the twist joint, constrain parent, constrain scale. Okay, we'll do the same thing for lower arm, control, then the twist joint, constrain parent, constrain scale. Do the same thing for the right side. Control to the twist joint, constrain parent, constrain scale. Control to the lower arm twist, constrain parent, constrain scale. All right, there we go. So I know those work, but just to show you, that moves and I can scale. Okay, this is my upper arm, scale, move. There you go, move, scale, move, and scale. There you go. So this is a great opportunity for like muscle contraction as well, depending on your geometry can support that. All right, we're going to create groups for each one of these. So quickly, I'm going to create a group. Same process. I'm just going to create a group for each one of these. Whoops. Right arm this time. Okay. Lower twist. There you go. I do need to go back in and make sure I do modify center pivot. The reason I'm doing this is because whenever you create a new group, it puts the pivot at the center of the grid. So let's go to modify center pivot. Okay, we'll do that with each one of these. Center pivot. Center pivot. I'm not ever going to need to move this group, but I just like to do this just to make sure things still can move how I want them to. All right, so the final thing is to select the shoulder joint on the left side, and then hold down the control key and select the group for the left arm upper twist. We're going to do a parent constraint. We're going to select the left elbow joint. Put in the control key and select the group for the left arm lower twist, constrain parent. Same thing for the right side. Select the shoulder joint for the right side, hold down the control key, group, right arm upper twist, parent. Select the elbow, hold down control and click on the group for the right arm lower twist, constrain parent. Now let's test everything out. That should all work properly for our twist joints now. So if I rotate, those twist controls work with it. Put it at an angle, select my twist, and that still works. Do the elbow here at an angle. Oh, look at that. My hierarchy of something is not right there. Go back and adjust that later. Oh, it is right. I guess I had a joint selected. There you go. All right, so that's still working. Let's undo all of that. Let's try the right side. So we'll rotate the right shoulder control. That looks to be good. The twist controls are running properly. There is my twist control. So yep, that works. let's rotate our elbow joint. And then here's our twist for the elbow. Yep, that still works. All right, so we'll undo back to 0. There we go. All right, so that is how we set up controls for the twist joints to be able to move them properly, still with the rest of the hierarchy that we set up so far.